Hello, and welcome to another A to Z Entertainment video. I'm your host, Gavat, and this is the first of a series of videos I'm going to be doing that are Seinfeld episode reviews. And being a Seinfeld fan, I like a majority of the episodes, but there's a couple that occasionally that I can't really stand, or that I can't watch, or that I just they're just episodes. But these videos are going to range from the best of the best, in my opinion, to the ones that are just kind of crap, to the ones that are classics. So this one that I'm going to be reviewing today is more like sort of one of the best ones. It might be like it's on the list of maybe the top 10 classics. And this episode is entitled The Opera. So this is from Season 4, and it's episode 9 of Season 4. And so The Opera deals with, basically, there's a character previously in the world of Seinfeld that appeared called Joe Davola, and he's known as Crazy Joe Davola because he was this guy who wrote a pilot for NBC around the same time that Jerry and George were writing their pilot for NBC called Jerry, which is also in a way a parody of the show itself. And Joe Davola was, in his mind, betrayed by Jerry, and his pilot never got picked up, and he was like canned and whatever. And so he's just nuts, because the whole time you see him in the first one that he appears in, he's crazy. And so this episode picks up with Joe Davola on the phone with Jerry. He's an answering machine. He's on Jerry's answering machine, going like, "Hello, Jerry. I have a hair on my tongue. You put it there." And just really creepy stuff. Or he's like, "I'll put the kibosh on you. I like kibosh." And promises. Like, he's crazy. Like, he is legitimately nuts. He's on medication, we think, but he's just really crazy. And so Elaine realizes that her boyfriend Joey is actually Crazy Joe Davola. So he's not Joey, he's actually Joe Davola. And so she, Jerry, George, and Kramer have to endure a night at the opera with a bunch of clowns. And this comes into play later. So basically, Kramer, we learn later on, is afraid of clowns. And so basically, I think that's hinted at a little while after. Or before, I mean. A little while before in previous episodes. But if I remember right, it might be first mentioned in this episode. But basically, Joe Davola, his apartment is this little apartment room thing. A couple different rooms inside of it. And there's like pictures of Elaine everywhere, ranging from walking out of her office building to the shower. And they're all pinned on his wall with like a big like wire thing with the little clips and everything, and like tacked onto his wall. And they're everywhere around this room pretty much. And he has a dark room where he develops them. So Elaine goes to Joe Davola's apartment to see him, pay him a visit, or whatever. And so you don't see him at first. She just notices these pictures and she's looking at them and stuff. And then you hear like, and the door slams, just scares the crap out of her. And so he's like, "Did you like them?" And she's like, "Well, why?" And she's kind of like weirded out by the whole experience. And so he asks her if she has the opera tickets that Kramer was supposed to get for this production of Pagliacci that they're going to go see. And she says no, she hasn't got them yet, gotten him that. And so basically he goes, would you like to see my dark room? She goes, dark room? No, thank you. And so she goes to leave, and he goes, and puts his hand against the door. He goes, you're not going anywhere. And she pepper sprays him, and he falls into the table. And so basically at this point, we see that Jerry got the message from Joe Davola, and he's scared to death that he's going to put the kibosh on him. And he's not sure what to do, as he's legitimately crazy, and he has it out for Jerry. And so basically, eventually they go to the opera, or try to, and basically Joe Davola this whole time through cutaways is like lifting weights and listening to Pagliacci music and crying and stuff. It's weird. And so basically then afterwards, throughout all that, those cutaways and amongst the scenes, you have when they're at the opera, basically beforehand, before in the still at Jerry's apartment, George walks in this little tight penguin-looking tuxedo, where the sleeves are kind of short and the pants are kind of shorter. And so then after that, when they're actually at the opera at this point, you have Joe Davola walking around a little while after, when they're still waiting to get in a Pagliacci clown suit, which is really creepy. And he comes up to Kramer and starts talking to him, and Kramer's kind of like, ugh. And he's kind of creeped out with all because Kramer's afraid of clowns. And so they get in, but George scalps tickets and sells them to somebody else. And so then Kramer tries to scalp his ticket and starts to sell his ticket, and they're competing for prices and stuff and trying to outdo each other. And so eventually Joe Davola, we learn, buys one, but we see that previously there was, walking around waiting for the opera, there was a clown. There's a promotional thing with the guy in the Pagliacci clown suit taking donations excuse me, for the actors benefit stuff. But he looks exactly the same outfit-wise as Joe Davola does. So then we see Joe Davola walking around when that clown's gone, and they think it's the same guy, but actually it's Joe Davola. And so he's like stalking Jerry and Elaine, and so they get in and they learn that eventually, when they get in, they learn that their seat was taken by some random guy that George sold his ticket to, and Kramer's ticket went to Joe Davola. So pretty much that's the whole abridged storyline of this episode. So this being season 4, episode 9, there's still kind of, because there's 9 seasons total of Seinfeld. So this is like what in the first 4. This is like one of the first 4 seasons, obviously season 4. So there's just starting to get a little better, starting to get the hang of things a little bit more. It starts to have a defining look to the episodes and certain other things. And so you have recurring characters, you have plot lines of specific characters, like the Kramer's Afraid of Clowns, which bridges over into other episodes. So, I mean, it's a pretty good episode. I really like it when I watch it. But it's one of those episodes that I can watch a couple times, but not over and over and over again. So it's not like that good of a classic. It's like just one of the best in terms, I guess. So basically, the opera, it was, I mean, the whole thing just is, if you know what Pagliacci is, there's little bits of Pagliacci stuff all throughout the episode. And Pagliacci is a opera about this clown, this guy whose wife betrays him, and he becomes this clown, if you will. And so then he dresses up like the clown, and pretty much, yeah. It sounds pretty ridiculous, but it's this famous opera. It's been around for years and years and years and years. So basically, I would give this episode out of 10, maybe a 5.5 to a 6. because it's not a 10, but it's not like a 1 to a 4. It's in the middle, because there's certain things I don't like, certain things I really do like. So about a 5.5 to a 6, so it's in the middle of the ratings. And if you haven't seen this episode, it's a good episode. I'd check it out. I think you'd probably, if you're a Seinfeld fan, you'd probably like it. If you're just getting into the series, start from the beginning. But if you want to just take the best episodes from each season, you can definitely watch the opera, because season 4, episodes 7 through 11 are the Bubble Boy, which is a really good one, the Cheever Letters, which is also a really good one, the opera, the Virgin, which is a really good one, and the Contest, which is a classic. The Contest is one of the top 5, even top 4, even top 3 defining Seinfeld episodes. Because the top 3 obviously are the Raincoats as a whole story, so not part 1 and 2 are individual. The Raincoats part 1 and 2 as a whole story is obviously in the top 3. The Contest, and probably there's one other one, but I can't think of what the title is. But there's 3 defining ones. The Raincoats obviously is a classic. I'll review that one probably another time, because it's a really cool episode. There's 2 parts, so it's going to be a longer video. Or maybe just 2 parts, so one video part 1, one video part 2 for both parts. But anyway, so basically 5.5 to a 6 out of 10 is the opera, season 4, episode 9. So check it out, please, by all means. And this has been the first of many yet to come Seinfeld episode reviews. I'm Gavat signing off, and stay tuned for the next one, and stay tuned for the rest of my other videos I'm doing. So if you like this video, hit subscribe, please, because YouTube's no fun with no subscribers. And if you really like this video, subscribe and tell your friends about it so they can subscribe, because we're trying to build a whole family of subscribers here, because YouTube's kind of pointless without subscribers. And yeah, so hit subscribe, please. Tell your friends about it so they can subscribe, and you'll get more of these videos all the time. So yeah, so this is Gavat signing off. I'll see you next time, and subscribe, please. See you next time.